Hey, I'm Ralph with Flexfilm, and today I've tinted this back window. But there's something different about this back window that most people don't run into every day. I spliced it, okay? It's done in two pieces. The splicer right here on this defroster line. In this video, I want to show how I spliced it. I want to show how you can also use your 20-inch rolls and you can get work like this. And if it's appropriate for your business model and it serves your customers and makes them happy, this is something you may want to consider doing. At least it's food for thought. Good little video today, bringing back an old school technique and showing you guys how you can, expand your business into other opportunities. That's all we're doing here. Two-piece back window. Here we go. Step number one to start this technique, to do the two-piece back window that looks like one piece and make it right, is you've got to get this step right or it's not going to go right for you. You just have to trust me on this. These window films are, if they're carbon or if they're dyed, they're not really as consistent throughout as you think they are. In other words, if I'm going to splice this piece of film with another piece of film off the same roll, then I'm going to have to splice everything. Like, I'm going to have to use this same edge. I want to splice this edge with this edge. If I try to splice this edge with an opposite edge, it'll actually look like two shades on the back window and you're going to botch this whole thing even if you get it perfect. So if I'm going to use this edge on my defroster line, I'm going to roll out another piece and I'm going to use that same edge on my defroster line from the bottom. This one's going to be coming from the top. The other one I pull out is going to be coming from the bottom, but I'm going to splice this edge with this same edge. I'm not going to splice this edge with this opposite edge. That's a very key factor to remember. So let's get this started. I've already pre-measured the width of the window is 48 inches. I'm going to come over here and just roll out 48 inches. I know some of you guys like to roll these out on the roll. Do whatever you want. Just don't lose track of your edge here. So I'm going to cut my piece and bring it over to the car. I'm going to make sure this is the edge I'm going to splice with. I'm going to I could dry shrink this, or I could wet shrink it. I'm going to wet shrink it. I'm going to do something different. I always change things up sometimes. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But I'm going to put this piece of film on the back window. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to line everything up. I'm going to look at the width of it. I'm not going to tell you, there's not a right answer to this, which line you want to splice on. I generally want to splice on one of them in the middle. I don't want to sit here and necessarily figure out which one's in the middle. I'm also going to look at other variables like how much shrinking am I going to have to do. On this piece, am I going to shrink more on the top or more on the bottom? If I have to shrink more on the bottom, then I might make the bottom piece a little smaller and the top piece a little bigger just to minimize my shrinking effort. This window is pretty even. I think it's about the same on both. So I'm going to kind of look at the middle. That's my choice here. I'm just going to look at my eyes and see what my eyes tell me. I think this one's probably going to be the one in the middle here, or maybe this one, okay? And I'm going to count it. If I pick this one here, okay, I want to make sure I know which one it is. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's number 12. Let's go see if the number 12 is covered over here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, we're doing good. Now remember, number 12 here, I'm not using a Sharpie. I'm just doing this for the video so you guys can see this. See what number 12 is doing? You see, I couldn't splice on number 13 because I don't have enough film. I need this overlap right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do some trim up work on this. Let's see how I want to do it. I always get my knives confused. Okay. See, I'm going to go ahead and cut this excess off right here. I'm trying to make sure this piece of film overlaps on number 12 about a ½ an inch to a ¼ inch. I'm going to go ahead and start doing a pre-trim. Maybe I don't know, I'm just going to maybe do a ½ inch all the way around just to get my piece sort of situated and let it start taking shape. Okay. See, it's starting to take shape now. Always get your tools in your pouch before you start a video. I'm using tools that I used to use back in the 80s and 90s. I like my new smart card, but I'll get it. I still remember this. So this is my friend, an old Teflon card. You can use it too. That's one thing I like about this business. You can use a lot of different tools to do the same job. It's kind of cool. This is a wet shrink, so I'm just gonna try to focus on getting my fingers up and down, just like, because I want to get these fingers like I need them, and then repeat the same steps on the other side. Let's go over here. I'm back with my smart card now. I had to cheat a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of pretend like this is one back window and this is another back window. The splicing is just gonna be the last thing I do. So I don't really have to sit here and give you all these different directions on what to do and how to do this step. This is just you're just gonna have to learn one more step to do this and make it look good. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start doing a little pre-trim all the way around. I'm not gonna use my Sharpie this time because, you know, there's things I can see that you guys can't. So I'm gonna just do my little quick trim here, just to make it all a little more even. Okay, that helps me kind of orient everything. Now, what my objective is to, you know, work out, since I chose to do the wet shrink, I'm gonna work out a lot of this water. That's gonna actually be my enemy. It's gonna slow my shrinking down. So if I get that water out, it'll help it go quicker. But if you notice on this technique, especially if you're wrestling with peanuts, a lot of the peanuts are coming from, you know, the way we prep and mostly the way we shrink, you know, adhesive, things like that. Well, if I minimize how much shrinking I have to do on a window, I'm going to have less peanut problems. This might be a solution for some of you guys that are fighting those really thick defroster lined windows with peanuts. You can do these in 2 pieces and eliminate the peanuts, or 3, and if you know how to splice them, nobody knows. Now all I got to do is quickly just shrink this bad boy down to where I don't have to, you know, I want it to just be all flat and ready to go. This is our Flexfilm, Terraflex film. Always been real easy to shrink. It's been selling it from the beginning, man. We're going in our 7th year of business. This film has just been it's a carbon film. We started off, you know, with pigments added in it. You know, the only way they knew how to do carbon films back then to make them all pretty and clear. But, you know, now this film is all carbon, no dye. That's why we're in business, man. A lot of people are choosing carbon with no dye over dyed films. It gives a lot of people some advantages when it comes to marketing and sales, and you know, you don't have to worry about the fading color change at all if you're concerned about that. Then we're going to repeat and do the other side just like that. See how that water just coming down there and messing with me? I'm just not going to worry about it. I know that shrunk right. I'm going to lay that down, and we're going to shrink the other side. Let's see. We'll see that water in there keeps it from shrinking as fast, but we kind of play around with it and get it out real quick. It's really, these are small fingers, man. It's real easy to get rid of them. I'm playing around with them, not trying to shrink them all at one time, but once I get the water out, they go fast. Okay. I'm going to do the top one over here. Get this little one to be a bigger one. Okay. We'll keep going. It's easy to shrink little fingers. Doesn't take a lot of practice to figure that one out. The bigger ones that give the beginners a lot more trouble. Okay. All right, bam. Phase 1 is now complete. We're gonna go get the other piece of film. We're gonna, you know, measure it, of course, the same way we did the last one. I forgot what the measurement was. 48 inches. and we're gonna put this piece and make sure the whole piece goes on the other side of this line, the one I've got marked. And then I'm gonna trim it up and make it all look even. And then we're gonna simply shrink it wet, just like we did the top piece. And then we're gonna do a trim all the way around the perimeter. And last but not least, we're gonna do our splice. I'll show you how we do that. And then we're gonna install it, and we're gonna build ourselves back up to what you saw in the beginning of the video and how this works. But here we go. This is another tip I wanna show you on this other pull here. This is my second pull. This is film number 2. Same roll. I would always encourage you to use the same roll of film. If you do different rolls of film, you're gonna have, it's gonna look like different shades of tint, and that's gonna botch your one-piece look. Okay, again, I'm gonna take note of this side. You remember I talked about using this side. This is the side I overlapped a little bit on that middle defroster line, that number 12. I'm gonna make sure this is the same side I used to overlap on number 12, coming from the bottom up. As long as I'm using the same edge to splice it, that's gonna keep the color consistent. It's gonna have that one-piece look without any color transitions that you would get trying to splice opposite sides. I don't know how it works, but it's just, it jacks everything up. It's because these films aren't coated consistently, and it makes it look a little bit off when you try to butt opposite sides. That's extremely important. I know I've looped myself about 10 times on that, but please don't make that mistake, or don't try this technique if people will start calling you out. But here we go. We are going to repeat. I've already cleaned the glass before the video, so I can just mist it again. I'm keeping in mind which edge we're dealing with, which is this one. You're gonna have to go a little high. See, here's our line right here. So we're going really high. But again, all I want to do is remember where my number 12 was, and I want to overlap it about a ½ inch on both sides. There's a ½ inch there. I'm gonna go identify my number 12, which is right there, about a ½ inch. Okay, that's where I want to lay it. Now, for the camera, I'm going to show something. I could use a Sharpie or whatever, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I've got my light in there. I'm going to turn it on. Maybe this will help you guys see too. This is the defroster. This is the actual defroster line. So I want to show you guys, you know, the excess film that I don't need in this step. I'm going to mark the other side too. I don't have to do this when I'm tinting. I'm doing this for the video. I want you guys to see when I'm talking about a line. I want to be able to show you what I'm seeing a little bit better. Okay, what I'm trying to show you is that's just excess film that we want to deal with. I'll give you some ideas how we want to deal with it. First of all, let's lay this down and get it oriented. Fingers, top and bottom, things like that. Get it ready to shrink and trim. I might just go ahead and start kind of doing a pre-trim. It's about a ½ inch all the way around the perimeter. Just to kind of start getting rid of excess film we don't need. I'll do it over here just to do it in steps. It's not the way I would do it. I've got quicker ways to do this. I'm just trying to do a good video. Y'all see all my steps, what I'm doing. Okay. You see how the film's starting to get smaller, it's kind of shaping up. I can start, using my smart card and start to squeegee some of the water out. I can start orienting all these fingers, top and bottom. Again, notice they're small. That's why we can even consider wet shrinking on some of these, because these fingers are so small. It's like, who cares if you wet or dry? We're dealing with small fingers, man. Doesn't matter. Keeping the flow going. I'm sort of moving things around. I'm just trying to prepare myself for a shrink, getting a lot of this water out. Same thing here on the top. And again, I don't have to do this, but it kind of bugs me, but I can pick this film up and I can just manually kind of cut on that line a little bit. It's not the prettiest, but just get rid of a lot of excess film that I don't need. I just don't want to have to deal with a splice and have too much film to worry about and watch and all that stuff. if you don't have a Sharpie, sometimes, see, this is the hard coat. Sometimes you can take, if you just want to take your blade and drag it across, you can scratch the hard coat, and that makes a line. And you can just use that. You don't have to have a Sharpie. Don't waste the ink. These are old school tricks before I even knew about Sharpies. I'm not sure when they invented them. Been using them a long time though. But I didn't always have one, you know. So anyway, I'm just going to start back pushing my film back to where I had it. I'm going to get ready to shrink it, and then we'll do some final cuts, and we'll be ready to install it. Installation is fun too because film's not so big, and you'll be surprised how easy this all goes together. It's kind of amazing. Okay, keep going. Let's get it. So, yeah, you know, this technique is going to be something I encourage people to consider. If you're dealing with the price shoppers, you know, you're tinting cars. I'm not going to tell you the numbers here, but probably under $200 a car. You know, you don't want to skimp on the quality of film. You know, you can always almost go to these distributors, and it's probably critical. Time is critical. You know, and you can negotiate with these guys and get these 20-inch rolls for sometimes half price. So you can get good film, good prices. Use a few techniques like this, you know, back from the old school. Make tint jobs look really nice and create a win-win in some situations. Not all. I'm not going to try to encourage you to go out and use this technique when you're charging $500 a car on some exotic brand new car. I don't think this is the way you need to do it. But that average customer who doesn't even appreciate your work and understand that, you know, I mean, if you're not perfect, you know, they don't even care. I mean, they just are happy the tint's on, it looks good. They're not gonna call you out if you got a micro gap, or a ghetto gap, or a shaved edge. You know, the tint job just looks clean, it's installed properly. You know, it's free and clear of bubbles and debris. You know, they're not going to notice that you spliced their back window on the middle defroster line. It's already a line anyway. It's a dadgum defroster line. If you can do it the right way, nobody cares. Honestly, the only people that are going to care are the professionals in these forums on that battlefield who want to call you out and tell you that you're crazy for doing it. But really, that's not the battlefield we need to be concerned with. I think the battlefield we need to be concerned is where our customers are going to be happy with, and, you know, the ones that we're working on and dealing with to feed our families. But anyway, at this point now, I'm going to trim the perimeter of this glass, and that's exactly what I would do if I just shrunk it in one piece. This back window to me now is one piece. It's two pieces, but I'm looking at it as one piece. I'm just going to trim everything out, no different. I have no more instruction to give you on that. It's just at the very end, I'm going to splice on defroster number 12, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that and how it's going to turn out sweet. But so here we go. Let's just trim out around this. I got enough light in here that I think I can see and just keep my regular skills going. Okay, boom. That edge is trimmed. Nothing special there. Sometimes I use little tricks like this. I do something different every time. I might even spray it along the top just to give it some contrast. See how I just did that? Now I can see real easy. I got that light in there making everything glow. See, I get a little bit more in the corner there. I can see. Boom. Oh yeah, I can see it perfect. I don't know if you can see a good camera angle on that. That's a $1 can of spray away. I had to strip this window anyway before I tinted it for a friend. I'll do it at the bottom. Watch this. See, we'll come over here. Well, I can see back here anyway. Well, you know what? I can't see that great. Now I can see over here. I just couldn't see behind the brake light. So I come over here, do the same thing, real quick like. Always carry a fresh blade here. Make sure you break it. Make sure you study the right angle of the blade. I'm going to start messing with those rotary cutters I've been hearing about. Never really used them, but I've researched them. I know there are people that I know that use them that I really trust. And there's no doubt in my mind it's the way to go. And I can't wait to start messing with that. I just don't tint much anymore, so I hadn't had one lately to use. Okay. All right, look there. Here we go. All right, now I've just... Okay, I'm done with my perimeter cut. I'm done with it. Now, guess what I have left? All I gotta do is make one splice. This is actually, can be tricky. I'm only gonna worry about one side at a time. I'm gonna go over here because I got my orange bucket over here. You know, this is my Home Depot special. It's something I might elevate my position on. I've got a light in here. I don't have any, if I had a friend here to help me hold it and I had to worry about the guy holding the camera, I'd have somebody here holding the light for me. But I'm gonna try a little quick spray away trick. See how I got the contrast I needed? And I can elevate myself. It's really important to elevate yourself so that you can see, you know, get the knife at the right angle and you just pluck it in. And you go slow, fast, whatever you're comfortable with. But the better you are at this, the better it's going to come out. But I mean, like, I might be old. I might even be breathing hard. Man, I'm still good at this. I can get that sucker right on the money. And then keeping my head right above it is the key. Don't be looking at it from an angle. And you'll cut it from an angle. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Now, look, I can already start to work on part of this. Like that, okay? And I'm gonna come start from the other side and repeat that step. And then our splice is gonna be complete. And then the fun part is we can put it on. I'm gonna use old bucket here. I like to elevate myself above the car. Hey, if you're a tall guy, you don't have to worry about this bucket. But I'm like 5'9" on a good day. Okay, I've got a brand new blade. Let's get big boy on here, okay? Hope the customer's not watching. He don't want to see 230 pounds on this car, but it's happening. Okay, same thing. For whatever reason, I'm a little better on the other side than this side, but I'm still money though. I'm still money. It's going great, going great. Going great. Still breathing hard, but still going great. Okay, boom. All right, now, here's the fun part. Take that excess out, and now this is always kind of careful. I just make sure I went through really well. And see, there's a little snag right there. It was nothing. Okay, it's going to be hidden behind that line. I'm going to go do the other side to get to my scrappage. Look at that. Boom. All right, man, that's beautiful. Now I'm going to install, I'm going to clean this back window, prep it as normal, and I'm going to install it. I'm going to put this piece on first, off the top, squeegee it out, but I'm going to make sure before I squeegee it out, it is dead money on that defroster line. And I'm not talking about in the middle of it. I'm talking about on the top of it as best as I can. And then I'm going to squeegee everything out. Then I'm going to squeegee the film out. Then I'm going to prep the bottom half, wet it, install it, and then I'm going to put it in. We're going to line it up, and we're going to get it perfect. And then when it's money, we're going to start spreading it and squeegeeing it out. And the results I'm going to get are going to be what we're building up to. Okay, now we're ready to install this two-piece back window to make it look like one. I spent a lot of time prepping on the inside of the glass before this video was even shot. I had to strip tint off this back window. So there was a lot involved there with steamers and stuff like that. But I want you to see this back window basically looks like your one-piece back window, and the way it's shrunk and everything, it's got a splice. I mean, it's just physically two pieces of film, okay? We're gonna leave this one in place and we're gonna install this one first. And the beauty about this is I've already done a final squeegee. We're ready to install. I'm gonna literally wet the inside of the glass and peel this and wet it, and we're gonna put it on. But the beauty about this is I've only prepped and prepared the top half of this glass. I probably squeegeed it down to about right here. I don't have to contend with a final squeegee yet on this. So I didn't have to really do as much work, you know, I didn't have to do the whole glass like I was going to put a one-piece back window in just for the top. So I'm going to do the normal process for getting, okay, yeah, I took my light out. I'm going to do the normal process. I'm going to just do the top first and then the bottom second, and we'll show you the details on how we do it. And I'm going to get my slip solution. I always wet the top just to prevent static electricity from pulling anything in. And I'm going to wet the glass where we're going to install. Don't need a lot of water for this. I've got my slip solution like I want it. Slippery, don't need a lot of water. Don't need to worry about, I mean I could, but I'm not going to worry about reverse rolls, and I'm going to go back to Frankenstein because I can handle a little piece. I just hate the big ones. And I'm going to spray it. I'll save myself a trip on the other side of the car and try to just reach over it. Okay. Don't laugh at me right now. I hadn't done the Frankenstein in quite a long time. I don't want to embarrass myself. I just don't do this every day Frankenstein, but basically all I want to do is just get this film and get it back there. Here we go. So, yeah, I could probably do some practicing on this method here a little bit. I know a lot of guys are better at this than I am on the Frankenstein stuff, but hey, you know what? It's okay. I'll get it up. It's just a little piece of tint. Ooh, I think I'm gonna reverse roll that next one. Just got ahead of myself on that one a little bit. Hey, the struggle's real. It's okay though, it's on there. All right, here's the key. The first piece is the most critical because when you set this bad boy, everything's gonna follow it because that splice is what you gotta match up. And if you get it off on this step, then everything's gonna be off all the way down. So we don't want any light gaps. That's step one is complete. Now the key is I wanna get my fat head down here, and I'm not looking at the outside, I'm just looking at how this matches up to the line, because I got to get it on the line. That's the magic. Don't let the outside piece throw you off. Just look at the line you need to touch, and when you get it on that bad boy, it's gonna work. Oh yeah, it looks good. Okay, just make sure there's no faults. We gotta go back and look again. I'm telling you, this is the make or break it. I mean, it'll look good, but if you want to make it fool people, you gotta get this part right. Boom. It's right. Now, the fun part. I'm just gonna get my old yellow turbo out. I could use I got my Go Doctor here, it's all good. Just squeegee it out to make sure it doesn't shift. That's another danger. You got too much slip solution, maybe it'll shift. Okay, see how easy that is? So this is just one little piece of film going on there like a champ. I don't know about y'all, it kind of bothers me when I get water on the dash, but it's not too much. I could have easily gotten my dash towel down, but I just didn't think about it. I just don't do it enough. Okay. I'm just trying to make a video here, so I'm gonna rip this off when I'm done, so I'm not gonna get too crazy here. I'm just trying to show a technique. This guy brought me the car, it's a friend of mine, and wanted me to actually strip it for him. And I told him I'd be happy to help him. Probably should have done it. It was hard. Okay, now, here's what I want to show. Let's go to the outside now. Just kind of monitor what's going on. I don't normally do this when I'm tinting. I just want to do this for the video. Just like any side window, you would contend with, you can do this now or later, but you would contend with a finger if you needed to, edges, You can wait till last. You could actually wrap your hard card, probably the moisture. That's where that's coming from, the moisture. I want to get the moisture out of there. Not too worried about it. I'm about to spray it again. I can get a little heat on that. I'm just not going to worry with that step, this phase, whatever at this point in time. Let's go to the other side and kind of look at it. See, we've essentially tinted half this window and we got it looking good. I mean, it's really smoking hot good. I mean, nothing. It's, again, I might just want to, just because I'm a perfectionist. I want to get some moisture out, all that kind of good stuff. You know, we could go back over it, hard tool it, whatever. I got a little piece of glue right there. I'm just gonna not worry about it. I'm gonna take it off anyway. Yeah, I could fix that glue. It's no big deal. It's on the edge, on the dots. Okay. All right, now here we go. Now we want to put this bad boy on. We want to butt it together, and we do not want to be able to tell that it's two pieces. So I'm just going to go squeegee. We're not going to put that in the video. I'm going to squeegee the bottom half real quick, and then we're going to do the same step over. But I'm going to show you how I match it up, how it's going to look good. I've already prepped and squeegeed, and we're ready to install this piece now. This time I'm going to, because this is going to be a little more challenging for me, I'm going to do the reverse roll. I probably could Frankenstein it, but why not just change it up? What the heck? We'll wet that. Okay, and then we're going to wet the other side. Okay. And pull it back. I'm gonna want to start from that way and roll this way, so I'm gonna start on this side and roll it up. It's kind of funny, a little bitty tube here. No big deal. I'm just gonna, for the camera, I'm gonna just wipe this off. I just want to make it easy for everybody to see two angles. Okay, so I'm just going to come inside now and install it. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is, you know, get it down there in the bottom. Such an easy piece of film to handle. It's so small. What I like about it, it's hard to mess that up. See, that was so much easier for me to get that in there than it was to try to Frankenstein it in there personally. It's just so easy. And I'm just gonna work it down. See, I got one of these lights that can't take out, or so I won't take out the back deck. Why not? I'll just slide it behind it, no problem. I got a tool to deal with that. Bulldozer. Just kind of easing it down. Probably messing with it more than I should be. Okay. Probably should have gave me a little more slip. I could have made that a little slippier and easier on me, but so I don't have to fight it. But I'm just gonna wet it again. No big deal. Okay, now we're starting to get to the show. Okay, it's what I like. It's the fun part when it gets down this far. Okay, you want to match this. Hey, can you get a good shot on this, Aaron? I mean, see how that blends in and it just like boom, it disappears. Well, it's not that simple. You've got to get a light, or you got to look at the edge, and you got to match that edge up perfect. And then if you don't get it perfect, you might have little bubbles and choppy spots on the line. This is the part where I'm actually going to use a light or you can use your cell phone, but you got to see that black. See right there? You got to get that perfectly edge matched up. And then you got to fill it with your thumb. A little rusty on this. Make sure on both sides it's budding well. I'll tell you what, before I start squeegeeing it, I got to get a light in here. I'm just gonna opt for my cell phone. Here, let me get my cell phone. It's right over there. And then, yeah, put the light on that cell phone. Okay. Now, so here's what I want to do. Okay, can you see that? You see how that edge is not matched up with that edge? That's bad. See, I've got to really now start. Okay, that's where I want it, right there. See, I couldn't see that. Now I got to send this all the way down this way. Put the phone down for a second. See, I got to get it lined up. You get this lined up, all your problems are gone. This thing looks really sweet. Just FYI, I would put more slip solution than normal. It's been a long time since I've done this. I would put more slip solution than normal so you won't have to keep doing what I'm doing to get that slippery that you need to get this thing sliding and perfectly oriented. If I'd have just put a little more slip on there, we'd have just had it perfect. Hey, I like making adjustments in the field. This is what it's all about. You grow from it. If you make mistakes, you don't make them twice. Unless you take a vacation from it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start over again with my, okay, that is, oh yeah, see, I got the whole thing sliding this time. That's what I needed. That's perfect. I love it. Yeah, I shouldn't have struggled on this as much. You do this 2 or 3 times, you won't struggle on it anymore. It'll just be natural. Having to do some serious recall from the 90s here to do this video. See, it's working over there too. See, now I got that sucker invisible. That's what I'm talking about. Now it's working. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put the phone back over here. Now all I gotta do is just squeegee it out. And it's just not, you just gotta go left and right though. You don't wanna go up and down on your seam. You just wanna go left and right, just like you would if it's a back window. Just don't go up on the seam. And go in the middle and just kind of work your way out to the edges. Even start going back over the other stuff, get the water off. I've got several different squeegees I like to do this with. So all I'm trying to do is just get it to lay down, get the bubbles out. See, now it's starting to happen. Now it's starting to happen. Okay, I'm talking about stealth, baby. The art of invisibility. That's what I like about this. Okay. Hey, we're gonna keep going. Oh, this hard coat is awesome, man. It's so freaking slippery from the factory. I love it. Okay. Here we go. Look at this. Okay, then I'm just gonna take my paddle. See, this is not a video about how to tint a back window. I mean, I could talk to you about, the final squeegees and pulling out these Go Doctors and Blue Maxes and getting these little fingers out. We're going to do all that here in a minute. They're going to show you a final on this, and we're going to get some really good footage on this. I want you to see what customers are going to see. You ain't going to see this. I mean, I'm telling you, man, you need to look at this. This is another technique we need to bring back from the 90s and 80s. But anyway, we're going to get some final footage on it, and we're going to go to that next. Okay, this back window is done in 2 pieces, okay? I'm not encouraging everybody to do back windows in 2 pieces. I am showing a technique that used to be common in the old days, and I believe it has its place in today's industry. Not with everybody's business model or how they want to handle their customers, but in some business models, probably most business models, this is an option. A lot of people that have learned how to tint windows into the 2000s and earlier, they don't know about this. We have technology that you can shrink and you don't have to do this. But I showed you how you can take your 20-inch roll, you can make a beautiful back window, that would please a lot of people. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And it's fun to do. It's quick to do. You can save a lot of money doing it. And you can help the customers that you help satisfy save a lot of money as well. Just an option. Just wanted to give it to you, food for thought. Let me know what you guys think about it. Always remember you can subscribe, comment, tell me what's going on, tell me what videos you want to see next. But this is it, man. I thought this might be a little nugget of interest to somebody. Thank you.